If you're a wrestling fan who lives for the drama, the championships, and the unpredictable moments that shake the entire industry, then you absolutely need to subscribe to WWE Express and ring the notification bell right now, because we're about to break down one of the most seismic potential collisions in modern wrestling storytelling. Don't miss a single upload from this channel. Here's the reality we have to grapple with. In May 2026, Roman Reigns has spent years constructing an empire, establishing himself as the cornerstone of WWE's entire narrative landscape. He has commanded respect, unified championships, and built a legacy that touches nearly every major storyline in the company. But now, an unexpected force is moving into his orbit, one that carries historical weight, undeniable credibility, and a connection to the very bloodline that created Reigns himself. The possibility of The Rock acknowledging Roman Reigns, engaging with him, even confronting him, represents a narrative wildcard that could fundamentally reshape everything we think we know about the tribal chief story moving forward. When you consider the symbolic weight of such an encounter, you have to understand what's actually at stake. Roman Reigns has positioned himself as the successor to a legacy, someone who embodies the power and presence that defined an entire era of professional wrestling. The Rock represents the pinnacle of that era. He represents the evolution of that bloodline into mainstream superstardom. So if The Rock were to appear and acknowledge Roman Reigns, it wouldn't just be a friendly family moment. It would be a validation of everything Reigns has claimed to be. Conversely, if The Rock were to challenge what Roman Reigns has become, if he were to suggest that the tribal chief has strayed from or failed to live up to the legacy he's inherited, that could shake Roman's entire psychological foundation. That's the kind of storytelling that makes wrestling matter. The intrigue deepens when you factor in the complexity of Roman's current position. He's surrounded by family members who have their own agendas, their own hunger for prominence, their own interpretations of what the bloodline should represent. Jacob Fatu has emerged as a volatile, unpredictable force within the family structure. Obafemi is ascending the ranks with impressive speed, catching the attention of every major player in the company. And within this landscape of shifting loyalties and competing egos, what happens if The Rock enters as either a blessing or a curse? Consider the psychological dynamics at play. If The Rock were to validate Roman Reigns, to suggest that his nephew is living up to the family standard, it could cement Roman's authority over the bloodline and eliminate doubt from his own mind. He could point to that moment and say, "This is proof that I belong at the top." But here's where it gets complicated. What if The Rock's appearance comes with conditions? What if The Rock suggests that Roman needs to change course, needs to address internal family problems, needs to restore honor to the bloodline name? That kind of confrontation would add layers of vulnerability to a character who has built his entire presentation around invulnerability. Now let's turn our attention to the other seismic development that's reshaping the landscape: Fatu's trajectory in this company. We're watching a story unfold where Fatu appears to be moving towards something consequential, something dangerous, something that could culminate in a truly significant moment. The speculation among fans is intense, and rightfully so. Fatu possesses the kind of charisma, the kind of raw intensity, and the kind of connection to the bloodline legacy that makes him a perpetual threat to everyone around him, including Roman Reigns himself. If we're examining where Fatu's story could go, we have to acknowledge that his clash with major competitors has already demonstrated his potential. He's shown that he can compete at the highest level. He's proven that he has the skill set to trouble any opponent he faces. So the narrative question becomes not whether Fatu can be a main event player, but rather, when that moment arrives, who will stand in his way, and what will be the stakes of that confrontation? Here's where the speculation becomes genuinely tantalizing. What if Fatu's ascension is building towards something that directly challenges Roman Reigns' authority? What if the story being told is one where a member of the bloodline itself becomes the obstacle that Roman must overcome? Throughout wrestling history, the most compelling internal conflicts have been those where family bonds are tested by personal ambition. And Fatu seems positioned to explore exactly that kind of narrative. The phrase that keeps circulating among fans is that Fatu's death warrant has been signed. Whether this is metaphorical or literal in storytelling terms, it suggests a moment of reckoning is approaching. It suggests that actions already taken, decisions already made, have put Fatu on a collision course with destiny. Perhaps that destiny involves Roman Reigns directly. Perhaps it involves one of the other major players in the Bloodline saga. Or perhaps, in classic wrestling fashion, it involves someone completely unexpected entering the frame and changing everything we thought we understood about where this story was heading. The brilliance of professional wrestling as a storytelling medium is that it operates in real time, in front of live audiences, with infinite capacity to adapt and evolve. The narrative threads being woven right now: The Rock's potential involvement, Fatu's rising momentum, Roman Reigns' position as the apparent center of the universe. These threads have the potential to create something genuinely unpredictable. Wrestling fans crave that unpredictability. We crave the moment where our expectations are subverted, where character development surprises us, where the stakes feel genuinely uncertain. What we're watching unfold, whether through confirmed events or through informed speculation, is a landscape where the rules are being rewritten. The Bloodline saga has evolved from a simple family narrative into something far more nuanced and complex. The possibility of The Rock's involvement adds a generational element to the story. Fatu's positioning adds internal conflict and legitimate threat. And Roman Reigns, standing at the center of all of this, faces a scenario where his absolute authority might be tested in ways he hasn't previously experienced. The wrestling storytelling community has spent months analyzing these developments, breaking down interviews, examining body language, speculating about where bookers are taking us. And the consensus is clear: something significant is building. Whether we're talking about a climactic moment that's been months in the making or a sudden shift that changes everything overnight, the stage is set for the kind of memorable wrestling narrative that defines careers and creates lasting fan memories. So as we move forward through 2026, keep your attention focused on how these threads continue to weave together. Watch how Roman Reigns evolves his character in light of these pressures. Pay attention to every appearance Fatu makes and every interaction within the bloodline, and remain vigilant for any indication that The Rock might indeed be moving into wrestling's narrative sphere in a capacity beyond simple celebrity acknowledgement. These are the stories that make wrestling matter, and they're unfolding right before us. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown with me. If this kind of deep dive wrestling analysis speaks to you, if you find value in examining character psychology and narrative complexity, please subscribe to WWE Express. We're here every week breaking down the biggest stories, exploring the character development that makes wrestling compelling, and speculating about where the industry's greatest storylines are heading next. Subscribe to WWE Express today and join a community of wrestling fans who appreciate the art of the craft. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.